A few years ago, Pope Benedict gave John Vianney as the model for all the priests throughout the world. A very simple man, as far as brains are concerned, very poor. Somehow he finished his elementary schooling, but he had a vision. And the vision was to become a priest. But with the intellect that he had, one really wondered how would he ever make it. But because he had a vision, he did not give up. No matter how difficult it was, how discouraged he might have been. And so when he went to the seminary, at that time everything was taught in Latin. That was another hurdle for him. And so he had to give up. But he got a private tutor and learned the language as best as he could. And finally, even they wondered whether they should ordain him. His bishops looked into his heart, and here was a man, young man, with a vision. If ever anybody could be ordained, it was John Vianney. So even though there were other voices not to, he took the responsibility and ordained him. And once it ordained him, he had another problem now. Not John Vianney, but the bishop. What to do with him? And so he sent him to a parish far, far away called Ars in France. People had never heard of it before, but there he was. And once he went there, out of obedience to the bishop, he gave himself to prayer and penance. Two things, prayer and penance, day in and day out. And slowly the news began to spread around. It began to become famous. Not for his preaching. Preaching was very simple, childlike, but his confessions, there was something in him, or gift that God has given him, to look into the souls of the people. They didn't have to tell him very much. He knew much more than the penitent. In the beginning, he heard confession for about 15 to 16 hours every day. And then he increased them about 20, 24 hours a day, non-stop. And whatever time was left, spent in prayer and penance. Eventually he came to be known throughout Ars and throughout France, and even all over the world. People would come from all over to make their confession to him. You know, God works His way. We see most of the time the externals. God looks to the very heart. And so almost everybody was against him. Only the bishop was for him. And of course, John Vianney wanted to be a priest. He became a priest. He became a saint. And given to us as a model for all the priests throughout the world. His life kind of reflects life for all of us. We've got to have a vision. And the one vision that we all should have is to become like Jesus. Everything else is secondary. We are in the world doesn't know what to do with themselves. They are running in all directions, seeking for happiness, seeking for joy, and they don't find it. But if they miss somebody who will really make them happy, the only one who will make them happy, and that is Jesus. So let us thank the Lord for our faith that brings us here day in and day out, who help us to make Him at the center of our life. And no matter what, there's always, everything said and done, hold on to Him.